Well, it is heavy because I got the weight. I got that roller up too far in the front. Means I keep it in the back and make it lighter.
That roller's been around for decades. I'd say about as long as the newspaper clippings.
You just give them to me.
Who did?
Engelhardt.
Oh, Ron.
Yeah.
Well, there's a thing that you and I have in common, Raj. I also drive around with a pair of binoculars.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
Just right here, just right some off, so I won't show your face.
Oh, not pretty enough for the camera?
There's nobody that can rake like a Robichaud, folks.
Right.
They just grew up working and... Well, ladies and gentlemen and fine folks of the Miramichi, I just took a drive out to Trout Brook on a friend's recommendation, and I am now in the, we're going to call this his office, of the legendary Sid Matchett. And Sid, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing in here and what you've been doing for years?
Well, I lived here handy most of my life, and I worked in the mines until I retired at the age of 63. And over the years, I built this up as a hobby, and I continue it on. And now I'm quite happy to have something to do in my old age, and keeps me occupied and no trouble, I guess, too.
Well, right, but you know what? I didn't even introduce what exactly you're doing. So this is
This tying black salmon hook or spring salmon hook that we use from the 15th of April to mostly the first week of May or so.
Oh wow! So flying ties. So right now, this is the This is kind of the first step right here.
This is the first step of it right here.
So what are you doing? You're wrapping.
You
this...
have to give it a little underbody.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a silver tag on it.
Yeah. Oh wow, what a really cool thing. So, you know, there's a lot of one of the things I will make an admission to, Sid, is that I grew up on the Miramichi. I've never been fly fishing. I'm not I haven't maybe respected the nature aspect of where we come from as much. Yeah. And so, you know, guys like you that are just right engulfed in the fishing industry or hunting or the outdoors, you guys are really taking in the Miramichi, you know, culturally and for what it really has to offer.
Yes, I think in your family history, playing softball, you're probably born on the ball field, but
Yeah.
spent most of your life. And
Yeah.
most of the people I know that done that in a big part of their life did very little fishing because you don't have the time.
Right. That's
And
fair.
prime time for fishing is prime time for baseball or softball. And
Yeah.
I know I give the fishing rod up the last couple of years to be with the grandsons at the ball field. And I've always enjoyed softball and baseball, and that's what I do.
Yeah. Well, right on. Okay, so what'd you do? You just yanked a little piece of this yellow. Where do you get like first of all, like even to start, like where do all these supplies come from? Like what is the beginning process for somebody like a layman like myself that's just ignorant to what's even happening?
Well, first you got to enjoy this and take an interest into it, and then you get a cheap voice. You get started, and when you do that, you're set for.
Wow, look at all the stuff
If
that you
you're
have.
if you're lucky, like I've over the years taught quite a few youngsters here.
Yeah.
And a couple of ladies that
Yeah.
was interested into it, and some become very good fly tyers, and they do it. They had the interest. When you have the interest, you can learn it.
Yes, that's like anything in life.
It'd be like you wanting to be a motor mechanic, but you don't want to lift the hood of a vehicle.
Right.
Well, you're backing up the wrong tree. And it's just the way life is.
Yes. Exactly. So not only do we have one of our area's great fly tyers, we have one of our area's great philosophers too, folks. I've been noticing that since I walked in. Oh, right on. So is this an order that you have on? Like, did somebody order this one?
No, I tie these. We sell a lot of them this time of the year.
Yeah.
And in my spare time, I take a break. I come in here and tie half a dozen.
Yeah.
And then you get small orders like these. Gentleman is coming to pick them up later.
Right here. What are those for?
They're for he's going to PEI.
Oh, yeah?
I think they're for. He wants to try it for rainbow. I think.
Oh, right on. Rainbow trout.
Rainbow trout. Yeah. He asked me to produce tree with blue and white on them, so.
Oh, right on.
He's got them ready for him.
So any notable people that have come into your shop looking for some stuff over the years?
Oh yes, I get to Jim Lawrence and I become very good friends.
Yeah.
Jim had won the Stanley Cup with the Bruins.
Oh wow.
We knew him as Batman when I was a young lad.
Yeah.
And Jim's a regular here every summer.
Oh yeah.
And fall until the river freezes over.
Say again, Jim
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Was that during the Bobby Orr years?
That's between the Bobby Orr years.
Oh yeah.
Then he was for years. He was Buffalo's radio.
Oh yeah.
Announcer for
right
years,
on.
and he bought property here, and he stays here for the summers now too.
Oh right on. Really cool.
And,
I really appreciate your easy Miramichi hospitality of me coming in. It probably did help that you knew who my family was.
Yes, as soon as you spoke, it didn't surprise me when you told me to. I could see the family resemblance. There's no doubt to.
Yeah.
But you chat with people half a dozen times a week, I guess, all along to.
Yeah. So when I walked in, I just learned that Sid here used to sit with my parents and watch some baseball at Ironman Park. Well, this is really cool. It's just I can tell that you're an expert at this. Just the confidence that you have with your hands, and just the efficiency as to how you're doing this. This is really cool. I've never seen this process before. And you know what? I just read David Adams Richards' book called Lines on the Water, and he talked about how important flies were to certain fishermen. I was ignorant to it, Sid, before I read that book, to be honest with you. It gave me a whole different respect.
Yeah, everyone has the favorites. Fishermen, like there's a little board out there on the wall.
Yeah.
It asks one simple question.
Which is?
Do all fishermen lie, or is it only liars fish? And I've been trying to figure that out for quite some time. And at times when you hear some rumors or stories, you wonder if the book was absolutely right. But it's the people that I know of fish certain hooks, and only that hook, and they not willing to let the secret out.
Right.
Well, you can't blame them. Maybe I guess you, as a pitcher, you don't want the batters to know all your secrets up your sleeve either.
That's true.
That's just part of, I think, living that we go to.
Right. Any as you're tying that. And I'm assuming it's kind of like how much more work do you got to put on this particular fly?
We'll be done there in about a few seconds. That's
wow.
That's polar bear hair, which is one of my favorites for doing the black ghost.
Oh yeah.
And
wow.
And this is just a little whip finisher tool that we finish it off with. And the old lad told me one time, he said you should be able to tie a hook with no glue on it, take it fishing, and it should stay together. So.
Right on. So where did you learn your skills from? Just hold it right up. Actually, yeah, right on. Can you hold it in front of your shirt or something, and I can have a perspective on it? Yeah, it doesn't. Oh, right on. Really cool, Sid. Really cool. Maybe in front of your burgundy t-shirt there.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there it
Good
is. Oh, right on. That's a really, really beautiful piece of work, folks. And we just saw that in actual time, Sid. And, you know what, Sid? I'm going to just walk through and just show the shop real quick.
Sure.
And I really appreciate this. This is really cool, man. I love little shops like this. So how long has your shop been alive for?
I built this in '89.
1989.
I was the first 4 years up at the house.
Okay.
In a little sun porch.
And it's always been, do you still have the first fly that you tied?
Oh, no, I don't know.
So ladies and gentlemen, there it is. Sid Matchett out in Trout Brook, close to the Weyerton. And if you're looking for some fishing advice, some good stories, some good philosophy, and also an amazing product as we just saw, you know where to find them. Any other messages, Sid?
No, that's good for today.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so one little quick video. This right here is the product of the gentleman that we just saw tying, Mr. Sid Matchett, folks. So can you tell us just a little quick story about maybe just one of them?
Okay. The one, for instance, is Renews River Special.
Okay.
Designed on the Renews, runs into the main southwest, not far from here.
Yeah.
And one of the guides over the years come up with that pattern, and it stayed forever.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
So what's that one?
This one here is the Blue Smelt.
Oh, wow.
It is, again, revised. I changed some of the patterns by putting silver, crystal flash, shiny into them.
All right.
The old patterns, they didn't have none of this stuff. It was just all hair and feathers at the time.
Okay, so spin your little thing around. What's on this side here?
Yeah.
Oh, that's, okay, what do we got?
Yeah.
Pick one out there and tell us a little story.
This is the Gray Ghost.
Okay.
And it's a noted more for trout than the spring salmon, but it's an old pattern also.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then Frank Summers, to give us a quick little rundown
Frank,
of who Frank was.
Frank was a friend and a very good customer here.
Yeah.
He passed away, and I helped his daughter. And at the end, I bought the remaining hook, and I put Frank's name at the top of them.
Okay.
People still come from the U.S. that Frank guided, and they buy them for souvenirs.
Oh, wow.
And they also buy them in use them also, yeah.
Okay, so Sid, thanks once again. This was I'm so glad I came out here. I just hung out with another great Miramichier, folks, Sid Matchett, and this shop is a very special little place in this world and on our river, and I look forward to coming back. How do you take your coffee? Black?
Black.
Okay, so if I show up with a coffee, it's going to be black. Later. Okay, so oh, wow.
Summertime, this is pretty well the #1 seller here in the province, is the Green Machine.
The Green Machine, and you're catching, this is for salmon?
This is for bright salmon,
yeah.
And also good for the sea runner trout.
So these are all your products right here?
Yeah, pretty well. This is Shady Lady, but you'll see this 25 different patterns. Okay. Everybody adds something a little different to it.
Oh, wow. And you know, I just learned that Sid mentors young people too. They come in here and he teaches them how to fly or tie some flies. Really cool, Sid. This is really, really cool. So this is proper.
All natural bugs.
And one of the things I noticed as I've been talking to you is that, like, the confidence in your ability is very palpable, and you know when you got a true expert, folks, and how easy they are to show their product. This is really impressive, and once again, folks, Sid Matchett. I can't get rid of you. I've signed off 4 times now, and I just don't want to leave.
So we got extensive work on Terry Whalen here. So I pretty well underline
Okay.
the paragraphs that we can deal with.
Okay.
I got nothing over here, but just that should be enough coverage for them.
It's pretty amazing, eh, Raj, when we sit here and it's been 3 days and it feels like it's been 10 years. And we're back on the project, folks. And Roger Como, the clothing selection, I like that shirt. No, but the clothes that you're wearing, I'm impressed. I'm just seeing the style. I'm seeing it all over the place. So I'm wondering if it's you buying the clothes, are you out doing your own shopping, or are these clothes that are coming to you from other people?
I think they're older than my kids.
Older than, yeah, but they work. Okay, so we're back, Raj. It's episode number 39. I'm Jamie. This is Uncle Raj. I am a Miramichi boy. We're Logievillers. I'm located in Vancouver. I've been home for about 5 months. My father passed away, and my Uncle Raj, who I've always wanted to do a creative project with Raj, and I thought it was going to come more in a design and building kind of an operation. I was like thinking about that, but this has been perfect. We get to sit down in the cold afternoons. We get to have some barley soup to warm us up. We're going through the local historians' newspaper clippings, 50-something years of clippings, brochures, pamphlets, special editions, posters, and we're just showing it naturally. We're not pretending to be experts or anything like that. We're just having fun here. We're doing it for ourselves. It's it's just good to actually talk here, and it's kind of therapeutic, Raj, and it gives us a chance to hang out. So we're here. It's a Monday, 10 after 2. And I don't know, are you lazy today?
No.
No, but what are we on? We're on 1993. Is this part 4 or is this part 3?
Yeah, this is part 3.
So
should be the last part of this.
Okay, so we're gonna get 1993 today. I've been compiling up some video. I have about 2 weeks left on the Miramichi before I do head back to Vancouver. So I was just telling Raj that we're going to try to get up to do as many little episodes as we can, and then our project has been very fun, Raj. So I've been getting some positive comments from people. I'm sure there's always those that are going to roll their eyes, which is, you have the right to do that. But we're doing this for positivity. We're doing it for community building, for each other, in a way to express something creatively. So here we are, Roger. We're going to start here, 93.
Yeah, we either start with Terry or Candace.
Oh, whatever. We can save that for later. We'll save that for later.
Okay, we're gonna start off with a little bit of history on Terry Whalen.
Okay, this is Terry Senior.
Yeah.
Okay, all Miramichiers involved in sport know the Terry Whalens. And this is, he's at a Nordine. Miramichi's Terry Whalen has been elected president of Baseball New Brunswick. He succeeds Moncton's Phil Bourgeois and will serve a 2-year term.
Show his picture right now.
Yeah, okay, so here's his picture right here. There's Terry Senior. This is 1993. He was elected as president of Baseball New Brunswick. He's at a Nordine. Yeah, you need those lozenges?
Me?
Or is that what you said?
No.
Oh, okay. Whalen comes to the post with a wealth of baseball knowledge and background. He is also president of the Miramichi Valley Baseball League. He's chairman of the New Brunswick Baseball Hall of Fame Committee. He served as first president of the Newcastle Cardinals Senior Baseball Club. And he's the secretary-treasurer of the Miramichi Valley Rural Baseball League. And he has even represented Baseball New Brunswick and Baseball Canada at the first annual Children's World Baseball. And he cites examples Jason Dixon and David Godfrey of Napan and Denny Schofield of Bay St. Anne as products of the Rural League. He praised the worth and sportsmanship of Newcastle's John Can and being honored by Baseball Canada recently in Quebec. So there he is, folks, and wow, what a rap sheet that this man has. Okay, Raj.
Okay, now we're gonna check in on some kids that are saying they're not clowning around.
The kids are not clowning around. This is from April 23rd. This is from 1993. It is 31 years ago, and almost to the day. Okay, so St. Andrews students prepare for Drama Festival. Mandy Davis, Show Some Style. Katie Whitty and Kelly McCarthy, Clown. Okay, so there is, who did I say that was again? Mandy Davis, and then Katie Whitty and Kelly McCarthy. And what was going on, Raj? Well, it was, there are at least 34 St. Andrews students who don't mind if you call them clowns. They are the stars of the musical Clowns. It's headed to the Elementary School Drama Festival set for May 12th to the 14th at McNaughton High School in Moncton. The teacher was Beth McCarthy, and she is one of the directors of the play. We started work on the play in February, she said. Well, right on, and I hope they had a great time. They don't mind if people call them clowns. Well, I tell you what, I remember a professor at the University of New Brunswick that looked at me and called me a clown one time. And I probably deserved it because I was not doing the work. It was in a history, I think it was called Canadian history, and his name was Dr. Philip Buckner. And I asked him for something. He's like, he looked at my my past record, and he's like, "You're a clown."
It must run in the family.
It must run in the family. Yeah. Just remember, school is a good idea for those that are good at school.
Yeah. So in '93, our new hospital was going on.
Okay, so new regional hospital begins to take shape. Ladies and gentlemen, April 16th, 1993, this is construction on the new Miramichi Regional Hospital, and Miramichi Horizon. John Tucker, Chief Executive Officer of the Region 7 Hospital Corporation, shown here, says the project is expected to be less than the $100 million budgeted. And if that is the case, that is the first time in the history of mankind that a project has ever come in under budget. So do we believe that? I don't.
This is just the same thing, but it's a little bit more right up.
Okay. Same thing, a little bit more right up. Old Raj says, regional hospital, there won't be anything like it, says John Tucker, as he proudly shows off the steel hospital structure. Misspelling of off in there. They had of, but I, on the spot, knew it was off. There it is, folks. What part of the building is that? Okay, Raj.
Move forward to Miramichi Valley High School.
Okay. MVHS class, part of math science show. Here's an MVHS class that's getting ready to be a part of a math and science show. Let's read some names out here. I see one face I recognize. And we have Bathurst. Okay, so Terry Parley, Tracy Hashi, Raman Mahabir, sorry if I butchered that name, Gordy Ross, and instructor John McCarthy. Donna Watts, Stephen Lewis, Brad Sobey, Darren Rogers, Trevor Butler, and Jeff Knowles. There's Brad Sobey and there's Trevor Butler, and both of those guys played a lot of sports and were very good in the scholastics as well.
Yeah, so Sharon cleans for his mother there. Ross there?
Which, oh, Gordy Ross?
Yeah,
okay. Oh, you're gonna... Roger's always side organizing. What's the word? Subcategorizing.
Okay, we got the Rivermen handing out awards here.
Okay.
Tri-Vote Rivermen.
This is April 16th. Many players expected in spotlight as draft begins. Rivermen handing out awards. This is an article by Dave Butler, 1993. Philip Brough was sensational in the Miramichi net, especially in the first two games, which the Rivermen stole in Moncton. The defense was unspectacular, but very solid, particularly Brad Sobey. We just mentioned him at the science fair. And Wade Trevors, we mentioned him, local entrepreneur. And the forwards, led by Dax McLean and Denny Gaudette and Jacques Richour, were on a torrid tear. Team captain McLean led all scorers with 13 points on 9 goals, 3 game winners, and 4 assists. Denny Gaudette repeatedly showed why he's the best first-year midget in the province, maybe in the Maritimes. Man, that Denny Gaudette could score, let me tell you. I think he was from the Rogersville area. And then there was injuries to Brian Kerr, Jacques Richour, and Craig McCormick. Their annual awards banquet. Some of the graduating... So this is before their schedule. The Rivermen finished third, 1 point behind the Moncton Flyers. The Rivermen would have finished second had they not taken a disastrous dive past the halfway point, going winless in some 7 games. Okay, so there's the Rivermen at 93, and I actually just saw the captain and leading scorer of those games that they just mentioned, Dax McLean, on Friday night, folks.
Okay, a little bit of Blue Jays.
Some Blue Jays, 93. The Jays, White Sox clinch AL titles. This is, and you know, the Blue Jays, I don't know, Raj, have you seen the new renovations at the Sky Dome? They're calling it Rogers Center. I call it the Sky Dome. I think it looks good in many ways. Did they change a little too much? Maybe it kind of looks dark in there a little bit, but I think all in all, it looks like a ballpark now. So Blue Jays manager Cito Gaston gets a champagne bath from Alfredo Griffin as Ricky Henderson looks on following the Jays' AL East title clinching. There they are. Cito Gaston, a great manager. We all know what the result was, and Roger's going to show it right here.
That's part of the pennant win there.
Okay. Okay, so this is not the world. There's the phone, and Roger, you know how he operates. He's going to get rid of that person in probably less than a minute. There's a beautiful thing about children. I was around a neighborhood child the other day, and I was asking her, she's actually, she's in dance, and she is, so I told her that I filmed the Nelson Doyle Dancers, which, by the way, I'm still thinking about that experience, that dance troupe, the Nelson Doyle Dancers. They were so great. It was so cool to watch in person. But anyway, the little girl in the neighborhood, I was talking to her about it. She wanted to watch it, so her dad showed, and then she said to me, my dad's wondering why you're talking too much. So there's nothing, children will let you know what's up. Okay, so this is Joe Carter, 1993. This is part of the pennant race. This is not the World Series clinching home run. That will be coming a little bit later. But the Jays were so great back then, were they not? So I gotta wait for Raj to get back here as he's handing. Oh, there he is. Like I said, it was less than a minute. He is a sought-after man. So I just showed Joe Carter, and we're still back on the Blue Jays stuff.
Okay, this is probably the
okay.
one the World Series.
Yeah, I think it's the second one. Jays back on top of the world. Toronto Blue Jays, Paul Molitor, Joe Carter with the World Series trophy. Who else is in there? Robbie Alomar is there. So there's Carter, Alomar, and Molitor. Wow, something just fell out, Raj. This did. They were stacked. They had such a great team. It was exciting times. And the World Series MVP that year was Paul Molitor. Was there a classier player? He played mostly infield, kind of a third base, but then he just turned into a DH most. He was a professional hitter, very tough out, speedy on the bases, and he just seemed like a respectable gentleman his whole career.
One more baseball.
The Ryan Express finally derailed by an elbow. The Ryan Express, Nolan Ryan, I forget his hometown, but it's in Texas. Let me tell you, he's a farm boy. He knows how to ride the horses, drive the tractors, shovel the ditches, clean up the shit, and his elbow he pitched into his mid-40s, and I remember that he just knew when he pitched a ball and he walked off the field, and that was it. He knew it was over. Nolan Ryan delivers one of the final pitches of his brilliant career in the first inning Thursday night in Seattle. He is 53 Major League records, 7 no-hitters, 5,714 Ks. It's almost 1,000 ahead of the next guy. 5,387 innings pitched, 324 wins. He did lose 292, so he lost, but he didn't have the greatest of teams in his career. Lifetime ERA of 3.19, and here's a fun fact. Nolan Ryan has never did win a Cy Young Award, Raj.
I got a little stack of his cards like that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Okay, local. Now we're back to local.
Okay, we're back to local, and this is September 8th, 1993. Shannon, Susan, and Kathleen Butler on album cover. Sales of latest tape by Susan Butler. Brisk. There they are, folks. The Butlers. Great photo. Looks like that is at the park in Newcastle. That what are those?
Elm Park?
Yeah, what are those called? The gazebo that was donated by Lord Beaverbrook. Jack Butler made a shrewd investment when he agreed to help finance his family's latest recording effort. Sales of the Butler family's newest release, Proud to be Canadian, have been going strong since the tape was launched in mid-July. We've sold literally hundreds of tapes since then, said Susan Butler, the singing and songwriting dynamo behind the group, which includes daughters Kathleen and Shannon. Oh, those are her daughters. And right on, Susan Butler, you're a great Miramichier. I would love to sit down and have a chat with you, ask you a few questions of your ideas on mentoring young people and how important the arts are to a community. And I hope that can happen.
Yeah, just do the red, then you can name the players.
Okay. Bantams represent region in Ontario. We're going back to the juggernaut Chatham Ironman, all eras, all ages. The Chatham baseball program has been stellar over the years. It deserves a lot of credit. And Raj, I went and got some video of Ironman Park. The other day, I was driving up around there, and I was trying to find a way in. I didn't want to climb a fence, so I just walked in behind the fence and opened up a little door. And I just got some nice video. The field's looking really good, and I think the Ironman's first home game is sometime in early June. Chatham earned the right to represent the Atlantic area last fall at a tournament. Head coach Ronnie Murphy and his assistant was John Cripps. They have worked all summer long. And at Niagara Falls, the Ironman should be mightily boistered by three really outstanding pickups. Heath Stewart and Stefan Como from the Bandam Newcastle squad, and John Burns from the Nashwick Sis Club. Along with the Ironman's top four, Robbie Murphy, Jamie Jenkins, Troy Wickett, and Chris Walsh give Chatham lots of strong pitching. And they had addition on the weekend signing Dartmouth's Jason Bailey, a left-handed fireballer. And who's on this squad representing the region in Ontario? Timmy Jardine at second base, Robbie Murphy, shortstop pitcher, great ball player. Luke Terrio is third base, Buddy Doucette in center field, Michael Sutton at first base, left-handed hitter. Chris Walsh was an outfielder, pitcher, catcher. Troy Wickett, outfield, third base, first base. Michael Matchett, anywhere it says. Andy the Dandy Cool, outfield and a pitcher. And then their additions were Heath Stewart, Steph Como, John Burns. And then valuable others were Scott McGregor, Peter Wong, Terry Stewart, Michael Roy, and Jamie Roofman Jenkins, folks. Wow, what a great squad that was. They had great players on that.
Okay, only the front page of this section.
Okay, Raj, what do we got here? Fire claims the X. This was 1993. Even from the Centennial Bridge, the flames were easily visible. God, the Miramichi seems to have a lot of fires. We have read a lot of fires. And there it is, the Miramichi Agricultural Exhibition, their main building, up in flames in the year 1993. What was the date of this? This was around April. Only rubble remains for viewers on a roof of nearby hospital. And that's taken from the hospital, and there is only rubble left, folks. And you know what, Raj? That was kind of too bad, because once a building burns down, you know, you can't make old friends, and you cannot duplicate old buildings, architecture. It was a cool place inside. There's a little balcony that kind of went around. Mounties probe remains of Chatham landmark. There it is again, folks. The old exhibition building going down. The only awards I won in there for the hockey banquet, the only awards I was winning was most sportsmanlike type of things like that. The Miramichi Agricultural Exhibition. This was from, the building was built in 1903, and there is the remains of it. Arson, arson not ruled out in fire. RCMP awaiting lab results. Eyewitnesses seeing smoke and back. There it is once again. Too bad we didn't have one in color, but.
Oh, we had one. You
oh yeah.
You already told it.
Let beggars can't be choosers. Owners describe loss of cars and boats. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Big old fire. Way too bad.
A lot of vehicles stored inside there.
Oh, there was vehicles stored inside. Some boats. Yeah, it's a big loss to a community when a fire takes something down. You guys all know that from the Vogue Theater recently.
So quite a lot of coverage there.
Yes.
Just like volunteers that helped out there.
Okay, so like I said, this is from the April 1993. Fire consumes exhibition building. It was on April 16th when that happened, 1993. Firefighters pour water on the blaze. It was good that all of us were together. Chance for change. Yeah, but help from people nearby made it easier, said Mary Flanagan, a senior who lives at 42 Loban. And yeah, so anyway, like again, that was April 16th, 1993. Oh, hockey. Oh my God. Eh? How, what's the word I'm looking for? Coincidence is this, eh? So Bob Cole just passed away a couple of nights ago, or a couple of days ago, a few days ago. 91. And this is from he was he 90?
Something like that.
Something like that, or was it 80? 90.
Oh, 90.
So Hockey World mourns loss of Danny Gallivan. This is from February the 27th, 1993. And another iconic Canadian hockey play-by-play man, Danny Gallivan, passed away. And my era personally was Bob Cole, and I've listened to old Gallivan reels, and I just wasn't a kid at the time, so it wasn't as meaningful to me. But let me tell you, Bob Cole's my guy, without a doubt. I remember it was in the Torino Olympics, Raj, 2006, and Joe Sakic was the captain of that team. And he scored a goal. I remember Bob Cole was over there doing the announcing, and he was like, you know, and Joe Sakic scores a goal from an impossible angle, but Joe Sakic doesn't need any angle. Bob Cole was amazing. He used to lay on his belly in Newfoundland on the rafters to get a bird's eye view of games when he was just starting out and call it from radio, like senior hockey. He was an amazing voice. But you know what? And no disrespect to Danny Gallivan, he was the one that cannonading, and he had all those terms. But he was amazing as well. Scintillating, spinorama, the Severdian spinorama,
that was it, yeah.
Cannonading drive. He was exciting too. Don't get me wrong, but I just know Bob Cole.
We got to go back to the exhibition again.
Okay.
This lady here did a lot of painting of the exhibition.
Okay. And this is from August 18th, so this is months after the big fire. Moore preserves landmark on canvas. Susan Moore has several works on display at the Chatham Natural History Museum. They include Sunset Sage, the Black River Cemetery, Chatham's Old White School. But she was artist Susan Moore with her exhibition photos before and after the April 16th fire. So local artist Susan Moore being showcased in the Miramichi Leader from August 1993. And that is one of her works right there, and that's the exhibition before and after. And those are some other of her paintings, the local artist. It says here that she has some on display at the Chatham Museum. Is that a painting there? Oh yeah, Susan Moore's painting shows the main agricultural exhibition building before fire destroyed it. So this is actually a painting from her, and wow, that was what the old building looked like, folks. It was a great spot.
Yeah.
So good work, Susan Moore, with your brush. We appreciate the arts here. Okay. Okay, so this is from the Miramichi Leader. What's your view on Hockey Night in Canada's changes? And just as a side note, this is not from 93. It's from 2014. The local historian is allowed to file things the way he sees fit. But, ladies and gentlemen, what's your view of the Hockey Night in Canada changes? We have some folks across here. I'll show you the faces first. We'll let you know who they are. What did they think about the Hockey Night in Canada changes? Well, I think it's great. Strompanopoulos has a great personality and is very intelligent. It will make for nice changes. That's from Owen Murdoch. That didn't last long, actually. Ron McLean was back. My friend in Vancouver said to me one time, if Ron McLean is alive and still very capable, how does he lose his job? Remember when they took Ron McLean off of there? I think it's wonderful. Mix up the crew, says Alan Mason. George Strompanopoulos is all right. I think he will make a good host and be a good, respectful guy. That was Sean Parrott. Strompanopoulos is a fresh face for the sport. Give him a try, Ian McDonald says. And I like George. I think he will be a great host. That's Don Hale of New Jersey. So there it is. The Miramichi was down with old George Strompanopoulos. But you know what? We all know that George's #1 passion is music. He was, you know, he is a respectful guy. He's a nice guy and a good host. But it was a hard act to follow, and it didn't last very long.
No, Summer Blast
Okay.
at Pearly Beach.
Okay, so in 93, Summer Blast was highlight of 1993. Bigger show promised for 94. This is the 1993 concert, and it will let you know who was there. I can't remember. There it is. Look at that crowd right there. Pearly Beach, the big concerts. Most the people are probably, I'm guessing, 20s, 30s. There's nothing like going to a concert outdoors. It's an electric kind of a atmosphere. So what was going on here in let me see here. Oh, it was Def Leppard. They were drawn by the prospect of a big party featuring British rockers Def Leppard, but many came away with a renowned interest in Meat Loaf. So Raj, believe it or not, I was in that crowd right there. I went to the Def Leppard and...
Point to the area.
I was... Okay, the stage is right here. I was close. I was like in the middle in this area.
Sitting on your stepladder.
I was close to that thing. Anyway, to be honest with you, I never really grew up going to concerts and stuff like that. And that I was a grade 11 student. And that was my first concert, Raj. And it was an amazing feeling. Like, am I the biggest Def Leppard fan? No. But was Meat Loaf a great performer? Yeah, he was, and it was a fun time. And there were pizza boxes flying. It was fun.
So that was pretty big.
It was pretty big.
This is pretty big, too.
This is pretty big, too. My goodness, Roger sits in the morning having his coffee. He works on these jokes. Cruises coming. Look at the size of that thing right there in perspective with those smaller vessels. The arrival of the Queen Elizabeth II in St. John Harbor was a highlight for the cruise industry last year, and much more activity is scheduled for 93. Cruise traffic to the city has grown from 585 passengers in 1989 to more than 10,000 expected this summer. In all, 17 cruise ships visit on this year's schedule, representing 5 more than last year. So right on. Stinktown cruises were happening in 1993. Oh, this is the Rivermen eliminate the Moncton Flyers from 1993. They beat them, wow, 13-4. Semi-final action. Rogersville native Denny Godet led the Rivermen with 2 goals and 2 assists. Captain Dax McLean, the series-leading point getter, enjoyed another 2-goal night. There are the Rivermen, folks, and in that photo we have Dax McLean. He used to always wear number 17. I think that's Jacques Richard and Todd Sobey. So Jacques Richard in the middle, and then Todd Sobey over here. Great photo. Who else was? Craig McCormick, Raj's neighbor, potted a pair while Mark Barry scored 1 and assisted on 3. Big 4-point night for Mark Barry, folks. He was a hard-working centerman, never took a shift off. If you needed him to be defensive, he was. Wade Trevors, Martin Richor, Todd Sobey, Steve Dunaher, and Jacques Richor. 1,200 fans were at the Thursday's game at the LBA, and the coaches were Peter Nevin and Eddie Russell. So right on, the Rivermen had, and depending on what Raj has coming, we already showed actually in one of the episodes that they did win that championship. So that year they won the New Brunswick Midget AAA. Okay. Oh, are we still talking about this movie?
Well, I don't know if it's the same movie or not.
Oh, it has to be. The CBC crew filming Small Gifts on Jane Street in Newcastle. The movies come to the Miramichi. Filming starts on David Adams Richards' Small Gifts. I think we already showed this photo before, but we'll show her again, because there's the good old Jane Street looking south down towards the Morrissey Bridge in the old Irving. Now this is that David Adams Richards book that was being made into a movie. There was like lots of problems with the production. Are we going to shoot it? Let's start shooting it, and then let's stop shooting it. And or do we have the fun? It all comes down to funding. Reach for the Stars, Graham Weston, Nancy Smith getting pies from Jessica Steen, location manager Janet Clark, the CBC crew outside of Arnold Russell's home, and assistant costume designer Kim Gibson. These are the people that were involved on a production in the good old Miramichi, Newcastle. Looked like it was the top location area. This is 1993. Did this movie ever get completed? It's called Small Gifts. I'm going to write a note to myself right here and tell me to look that up, Raj. You guys are watching note-taking in real time. Small Gifts. Did this movie get made? Movie. Question mark. Okay.
We're winding down on these clips.
And we're winding down. Ironman down Riverview in Rogersville. This is from December 93. The Chatham Bantam A Ironman had a perfect record heading into the weekend. Okay, this is the Bantam Ironman, Bantam A Ironman, hockey. David Obey banged in the first period winner, while Mark Butler added an insurance goal. Mike Matchett added an assist. In Rogersville, Sunday, Josh Underhill and Brian Sullivan blasted in 2 as Chatham came out on top 6-3. Obey had a goal and assist. Murphy added. The other assist getters were Michael Matchett, Todd Boyle, Scott McGregor, Josh Underhill, and none other than Roger's son, Joshua Arthur Cummo, sitting in Bowmanville, Ontario right now, eating a big bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios for supper because he got home late and he just didn't feel like cooking anything. Watching this.
Well, you can scan down here, maybe just.
Okay. Is it? And what do we got left here? Just a couple more?
No, that's it.
Okay. And the James M. Hill Tommies qualify for softball provincials. This is from Dave Butler. So we're winding in on 93. This is the ladies softball provincials.
Lady Tommies.
The Lady Tommies. And who did they have? Let's just get some names on here. Their shortstop was Holly McLaughlin. Michelle Sipley and Lana Cummo, my sister, had a single, so she played on that team. Then Kim Boyle was playing, McLaughlin again, Trenda Manderson, Sharon Cook, another single from my sister Lana. Sarah Wrigley was pitching. Wow, I didn't know that she did pitch. That is news to me, and so good for you guys. There they are, folks, the Lady Tommies playing some softball, and Raj is winding her down for 93. Okay. There's the
yeah, you won't be able to see that. It's
okay.
plastic.
So as you pull that, yeah, you can, is that in a thing? So Raj had this for some reason. It was filed in as 93. It was filed in as 93, and then he just showed it to me because he knew that it was a friend, that it's a friend of mine. And this is actually not from 93. This was 5 or 6 or 7 years later when a local Miramichier named Candace Carnahan was in a work accident at the was it called the Repap at the time?
Yeah.
It was up there. She was a student. And there she is right there. She lost her. Yeah, it was left leg, just midway up the shin. I remember, like, I was very good friends with Candace in university, and we remember when that happened, and it was a brutal thing. It was so sad. I went to visit her in the hospital, but she took a lemon, made some lemonade, and has worked ever since, basically, as a spokesperson for work safety. I'm not exactly sure of the titles and the details of her career, but I know that she does travel around. She's a really gifted speaker. She can easily communicate with people, and she's a really excellent, down-to-earth person to be around. And look from the poster. Doesn't she look beautiful in this poster? She certainly does. Sorry for the glare. And this is, look at that, it was old school, little, looks like a Walkman or a Discman or something like that. But that's when she, you know, and that was one of her legs. So yes, there it is, Raj. So that is not from '93, but he had it in there, so we decided to show it. Oh,
Yep.
And then one more here.
Yeah. And after you tell that story there, you can start picking them up here.
Okay.
On the title game or the
Okay.
names of the players.
And then as we wrap down '93, we're going to say Frank Cox makes New Brunswick softball history. So Frank Cox was in his early 20s. All of a sudden, his father, I think, landed a job at our mill here or something like that. And he came with him. He actually played hockey as well. I remember he was working up at Canadian Tire. My sister was there. And Frank Cox showed up, and he basically said, is anybody playing softball here? And people were kind of looking around. They're like, yeah. And then there was a senior practice, and he went up to Nelson. There was a senior team still in the province. They competed against Moncton and Fredericton at the time, maybe St. John. And then it just so happens that this young Frank Cox was national caliber. And I remember them telling the story, okay, we think you're on the team. So that gave a 1-2 punch of Lyle McLean and Frank Cox as pitchers, and it allowed them to compete against Fredericton. So in '93, the senior provincials for the province, it was the last one that was ever really held with any amount of teams, was held here in Logieville, and the local Miramichi high-low schooners won it, with Frank Cox being their right-hand man. And Roger, I was scoring, I was a grade 11 student, and it says, Frank Cox made New Brunswick softball history here Saturday night. This is during that tournament. The finals were Sunday. Firing a perfect game en route to leading Miramichi high-low schooners to the New Brunswick Labatt's men's Senior A fastball championship. Now, if I was writing that article, the first paragraph was lacking what the top story there was. Butler gets into it in the second paragraph. The game was as perfect as they get because Cox struck out all 21 Fredericton Classics. There was 21 up. He struck out everybody 21 down. I scored it. Roger was up there looking over my shoulder to make sure I wasn't making any mistakes. And then they won 2-0 in the crossover. And then in that game, Cox fired a 3-hitter. And then they went to the final against Fredericton, and Fredericton had a pitcher from the Moncton area named Roly Gautreau, and they beat him in the final 1-0. No, I forget what the score was in the final, but it was a low-scoring game. But anyway, Frank Cox pitched that, and they went to the Nationals. And you know what? I was supposed to see Frank Cox this past year. I was at the Nationals, the Canadian Nationals Fast Pitch Championships in the Vancouver area, and he was playing Masters, and he didn't make it. And we're closing on this. Oh no, a couple more. Yep. So the '93 World Series champions, folks. Roger Cummel has this in his collection. And the Toronto Blue Jays, there they are. They were loaded up. Do they have what it takes to even come close to doing that again? Just put that right there. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And
Okay, just cereal covers.
Some cereal covers from 1993. Roger Como, and you know what? I was thinking about local historians, Raj. You're getting pulled in all directions, eh? Today's like a lazy Monday for you, eh? I hope that you're gonna have a nice nap after this. So Roger Como, local historians. There's no rules to local historians. If you are a collector and you have a consistency and you have a collection, that means that you are a local historian. So look at what Roger cut out, folks. The old shreddies. How do you get kids to think they're going to make the NHL when they go to the grocery store shopping with their parents, you put Wayne Gretzky's face on a cereal box. They want it because they think he actually eats it, and they think they're going to be like him and make the NHL. So that is Gretzky, and here is another one, folks. Wayne Gretzky cereal boxes that Roger cut out and shared with us. And you know what? Wayne does not mind. That's Sugar Crisp, folks. That's a Sugar Crisp. Wayne Gretzky does not mind doing advertisements, as we're seeing. He's on vaccination stuff now. Somebody said he's into the, the marijuana industry with the gummy bears, the Bet 365. I don't know, Wayne. I don't like some of those choices.
Now's the time.
What?
Now's the time.
I think it's time.
Okay.
Yeah, you're ready to get. Okay, Raj, well, we got back into it, so tomorrow we're going to have to pump in another one?
Yeah.
Same time, same place? Okay. Thanks, Raj, once again.
Just tomorrow. Don't know about the time.
Just tomorrow. Okay.